I'm too sexy for my love, too sexy for my love, love's going to leave me.
That song is dedicated to Mitch Morgan. He's with Vanquish AP. How's it going, Mitch? Jason Stockwell, Remax Results.
Don Eldridge, Remax Results.
Good morning, I'm Stephanie Havel with Wells Fargo Home Mortgage.
Thanks for joining us, folks. If you missed on the first two segments, we had Jim Stathis with the firm on talking about the suit. And you should listen to that, and you can hear it on YouTube or on podcast. If you missed it, or go to Facebook under the Stockwell Eldridge Show. And then we had our market update, which all is well in the market right now. Our shifting gears now from working out in the firm, which everybody should check it out, but go to the firm, mpls.com if you want to. We're shifting gears to the mortgage and rental updates. And rental market, we heard the real estate market. Mitch, what's going on in the rental market? Is there a shortage of supply, too much supply, prices? What's happening with the rental prices and everything like that?
It really slowed down a lot in the winter, as it usually does, but this winter kind of slowed down even more. But as the spring hits, it really picks up, and we're already starting to see that right now.
Activity's increasing right now?
Yep.
Nice.
So, I mean, the average market time is probably 18 days right now if it's priced right.
So your rentals, if your property managers have a rental and it becomes vacant, 18 days to fill it.
Yep.
Typically. Okay.
Yep. And usually we start showing it before the current lease ends so that there's no turnover on time. So you don't miss out on a rent.
And you guys, you rent out pretty much everything. So single family homes,
single
townhomes,
family,
condos.
Townhouses, condos. We do a lot of multifamily as well. So
okay.
4 units and up.
Awesome. Well, yeah, and I think sometimes a lot of people, we talk about people are in limbo or not sure where they want to go or in their school districts and stuff like that. So you do temporary rental, I guess a couple month-to-month leases and so forth?
We do a few month-to-month, a few 3-month leases for people like you're talking about there. And then regular standard year leases and 18-month leases.
Awesome.
2-year leases?
We do them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like 2-year leases as an owner of property because I don't like to change the turnover, and the cost of all that, So.
And people don't want to move too, so it is pretty easy to get a tenant to commit to a 2-year lease because who wants to put all their stuff in a moving truck and move it every year or so.
Mitch, are any of your properties that you guys manage furnished?
We don't do a lot of furnished.
Okay.
Nope. Here's
my question. I have a question. So who was I talking to the other day? Katie and I were talking. We were watching the Super Bowl. We were watching the news. And the news said something about the hotels, the total amount of hotels in Minneapolis is 19,000.
What?
And the Super Bowl itself, just the NFL and all that, demands 26,000 rooms or accommodations. So they don't even have enough to support the Super Bowl. So fans and people that want to see the Super Bowl are going out into Coon Rapids and all kinds of suburbs to rent houses and hotels. And that got me the idea here, Mitch, of why don't I rent my house out during the Super Bowl? It's 10 minutes from the stadium, 9.9 miles exactly. It's under 10 miles. It's big enough. It could support a lot of people. Do you have any people already doing that? My question for that is because someone else said, someone should buy houses, have them ready a month before the Super Bowl, rent them all during the Super Bowl for tons and tons of money, take that money, then and then move and sell the houses and just...
Exactly. A lot of people are doing that. They're planning on renting their own houses. We actually have a client as well that bought a building in downtown Minneapolis. He has some, it's lower unit rentals. He's already planning on getting everybody out in about 6 months, rehabbing everything so that the first people to move into the rehab property are going to be rentals for the Super Bowl.
Really?
So then as soon as that's done, he's just going to have a
remodeled place that he can rent out for higher price, but not Super Bowl pricing.
Now, let me ask you this question, though, because I read an article that there's some of these places downtown Minneapolis and the associations are not allowing their owners to rent out during the Super Bowl because all of the owners have voted that they don't want just random people coming and renting for the weekend.
Well, that could be, but here's the...
Well, that was going to be my question, though. Yeah. Obviously, you guys do a lot of rental managements and so forth. So do you... any advice you have to people that are doing that kind of stuff that you see that...
As far as the HOAs go?
Well, just, as far as renting it out, or, maybe advice to people that are looking to rent, or, looking to have rental properties, I guess. Like, why would these people not want to rent out their condos for the weekend of the Super Bowl? Do you know what I'm asking?
I actually don't think it's the owners that are voting. I think the associations don't want to deal with an influx of all
parties,
of
people,
their rentals. So
all the other stuff.
I really don't think it's the owners that are voting.
I guarantee you there'll be tons of people bucking the system that won't be listening to their HOA, and they will be renting out their properties without the HOA's permission.
How much are people getting on average for that?
I have seen, even this far out, I've already seen some Craigslist ads for it, and they're in the $1,000 to $2,000 a night.
Well, here's what the news story said. It was on channel.
gosh.
I think it was on channel 9.
Mm-hmm.
You know what channel 9 said? This couple was looking to buy. They rented a room in Coon Rapids because they couldn't find a hotel room downtown. And the hotel rooms they could find downtown, you know what they cost per night for a normal room? $9,000 a night. $9,000 for one night. That's what it was charging. Yeah.
So I was around. Were you guys around when we had the Super Bowl back in, what was it, the late 80s, right? What year did we host the Super Bowl? 94 it was, I think, maybe. I was working in downtown Minneapolis. I was working, at Dayton's or Marshall Fields at the time. And it was fun. It's a really fun time or whatever. But I remember
It'll be
there
crazy.
It was connected to the
I've seen
Radisson
houses
Hotel.
for $1,000 on VRBO or on Airbnb, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a night.
Right. And these are places that are getting like $800 a month. And then for this one weekend.
Geez, I might have to consider it. How far is Blaine to Minneapolis, like you, Jason?
I don't. If you're considering, so I don't want to influx the competition for my house that's going to be rented for the Super Bowl. But if you're thinking about it, I'm sure, Mitch, you guys can give some people some tips on that if they want to either convert their place into a rental or have it as a full-time rental. And the Super Bowl might be the perfect catalyst for you folks if you're debating having a rental. Let that be your catalyst and rent it out for the Super Bowl, make a ton of money on it, and then roll it into a rental.
Yeah, it is a good time to test it out. See if you're willing to be a landlord or a manager and make a bunch of money while doing it.
And the other thing you could think about is contact Dawn and myself, and for sure if you're thinking of buying rental property, because I got to throw another quote in. Am I cool doing that, guys, gals?
Love it.
Of course.
Never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. The time will pass anyway.
That's true.
So if your dream is to become financially free, as Dave Ramsey preaches on his radio show all the time, or to have passive income coming in that helps support your lifestyle or your business, or so that you can retire happily without depending upon Social Security and all these other things, you got to take action. You have to do something, and you have to invest and do it wisely. Yes, there's some risk. Yes, it's going to cost money.
And Dawn's famous quote, isn't it on her website? Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait.
Yes.
Right?
That's
And
right.
I would say,
Wow, you read my website.
I do.
All right.
Vanquish AP, I think. I had rental property, and if I sold it, but if I ever did it again, I would definitely hire a management company.
You were
for
doing it yourself?
Yeah, it just was too tough. You know? It just worked out for me. The renter had been there for 3 years, and he was ready to buy. The market, the timing, it just it made sense at the time. But prior to him moving in there, I'd had it for a couple of years, and bad experiences. Somebody moved in, didn't pay rent for a month, and couldn't get them out, and then damaged the property and things like that. So there's a lot that goes into it. I don't think people always realize it. It's a great opportunity to buy investment property, but then what we talk about all the time is with the experts. You guys, Vanquish AP, are experts in lease agreements and negotiations and collecting, because you guys collect the money, the fees, do everything, right?
Right. We do it all.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, there's so many, there's a lot of misinformation about if somebody does stop paying rent, how long it actually takes, if an eviction could take a few months. And it really doesn't usually. We do a few a month, and it goes 14 to 18 days usually. So.
Wow, that's great. Well, and I think too of pets and stuff like that. I know people violate, if you don't allow pets, they still think they can sneak their little dog or cat in. Or
there's a lot of that, and it's not always the way it is on TV, folks. So nothing usually is. So flipping a house isn't always done in 3 days, and you don't make $50,000 when you do it.
Or
usually,
200.